Hello, everybody, and welcome to another coffee break episode. Today, we have a special guest with us from Africa, right? Yeah, Africa, who's going to talk a little bit more about what he does out there and how we can kind of like, as a collective, connect with him. And if you like what he's doing, we're going to have, a bunch of links and information in the description of this video. Imagine changing someone's day with just a cup of coffee. It sounds simple, right? Welcome to Coffee Break Season 3. We sit down with strangers, share a coffee, and offer a listening ear. From homeless to passerby, everyone has a story. We pray with them and try to connect them with community programs and just show a little bit of kindness. Because sometimes all it takes is a small act to make a big difference. Join us and see how a simple coffee break can bring a world of change. Because you never know what can happen over a cup of coffee. But like every coffee break, we have some coffee here we're gonna share and just chat. Joseph, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, man. You come a long way from Africa out here. How long have you been here so far?
Almost 3 months now.
Almost 3 months?
Yes.
How's it been?
Well, it's been okay.
It's been good?
Yeah, my hosts are very lovely people, I can say so.
Yeah.
And all these friends that I'm now meeting through them.
Okay.
It's been great.
So now I want to get into the meat of this. So you have an organization a nonprofit organization called Creative Hands?
Yes, please. We have that organization called Creative Hands Zambia, which started, I would say, in 2015.
Okay.
But registered in 2019. In Zambia. Yes.
So what was that gap to register it? Was there like an issue that you guys had like for the registration, or was it something that you end up deciding?
Yeah, not really to do with anything, but because when we started it, we didn't have anyone to support our work, and so whatever we were getting out of our pockets is what we were using to support the programs that we were running.
So you guys invested in your okay, so
basically, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's something I like that you said that, because that's something that I highlight a lot in our channel.
Okay.
About investing in yourself. Like sometimes not everybody is going to invest in an idea you have. True. Unless you invest in it yourself.
Very true.
And I guess that's how you get the most support also, because people see that you're investing in it. I had this one guy tell me, nobody's going to invest in you if you don't invest in yourself. And that kind of like, sparked a light bulb to, I got to put money in here. Sometimes it takes a lot of money to do these things, right?
Very true.
So I salute you for that, because it's definitely difficult. So Creative Hands, what does that involve? What do you do with Creative Hands?
Okay. So now let me start briefly talking about how the name even came about.
Okay.
Creative Hands.
Yeah.
I believe personally that every individual, everyone is born with some skills in themselves. And so if they identify what they have, others would call them talents, but those special gifts that they don't learn in class or at school, they are just in themselves. And so I thought that if we can have an organization that will help young people identify those inborn skills and then help them to develop them and grow their talents and their skills, it can help them live in life, earn a living in life, basically. So that's how come that name came about. Creative Hands. It has to do with now working with their own hands and, of course, developing their careers out of that and earning a life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that, because even over here, right, we not that there's an issue, but it can probably be seen as an issue, that in schools, right, they teach you a lot of memory stuff, right, here. Like just read, memorize, pass the tests, and that's it. But they never teach you, what abilities that you may have that can help you in your success after the fact that you finish, schooling and stuff like that. So
very true.
That's an emphasis, I guess, that you're doing specifically over there, right?
Yes, specifically over there. And it's from there now that we sat down and as we started doing that, that's when we saw even other opportunities or other areas of need that our communities had. So one thing that we started doing was to introduce a club in schools. Now, so this club will just bring young people together and now start, of course, identifying what they are good at and all that. And one thing that we started with was what was called paper forwarding, where they will be using paper to forward or to make different things. It is also called origami or origami,
Yeah,
whichever
origami.
yes, yeah, whichever pronunciation. So with that, they would make, and then we have an exhibition day.
Okay.
They exhibit, they win, and so when they saw that they can actually win stuff, we saw a lot of young people coming, joining the club, and through that now we started identifying their different area of need. For instance, we would, of course, come close to young people and they would talk about their abuse, where they are abused by even the people they stay with. And so we saw a need of starting another program that has to do with sexual abuse, sexual assault, and to just help these young people heal from that trauma. Yeah, so that also is happening there.
Is that like almost like a mental health type of thing? Like, or would you say it's a little bit different?
Yeah, it is. It is a mental psychological thing, that trauma that happens to them, because you find that they start excluding themselves from many activities that happen at school.
Yep.
And you would constantly see that this young person is living in fear, yeah, because of what happened to them. And yeah, it has affected a lot of young people. Even when it comes to academic learning, yes.
Which is important too. Yeah, that's
Yes.
really good. So you guys are just pinpointing or seeing the signs of certain things, and then you're trying to, I guess, address them as they come about.
Oh yes, that's what we're doing. Other things, it's not something that we even thought of or planned, but as we are interacting with these young people and maybe spending more time with them, because one thing that we are promoting is what is called safe environment, where everyone is safe to talk, to express themselves, and just be heard without anyone blaming them or undermining them. And so they end up opening up to maybe one of the staff people that we are working with, and say, this is what that I went through, and this is how it is affecting me. And so through that, we are now targeting our programming, develop a program for them and start operating in that way.
And in the organization, how many people do you work with, or how many people are a part of this, like Creative Hands and all these different things that you're building?
Yeah, so as Creative Hand, I can say we have about 8 people that we are working with. And at the moment, we are all working as volunteers, I would say. It's a voluntary basis.
Yep.
Because at the moment, we don't have the capacity to pay people who can be employed full-time in the organization.
Yeah,
and so that is what we are doing. So apart from all this stuff that we're doing, as we are interacting with these children, I would call them, these learners in schools, we also identified that many girls, they stop attending school simply because they can't afford to buy their menstrual pads. And something that looks so simple, yet the impact is so big. Because one, you'll find that other girls, since they see that their parents can't afford, they start involving themselves in sexual relationships. And these sexual relationships end up in pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, and finally abortion. Yeah, and we've seen girls dying as they are attempting to abort because they see that they are young and they're still in school and they don't want their parents to know that they are pregnant. And so we saw that need also and started another program. So you see how these programs are building. And so this program now comes in and like I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it or it was later, that we don't have any external supporter to support these works. So we come and we say, okay, let us see who we can help. We started with just 50 girls at one school. And then that started growing to another school, to the next school, and now we are supporting about 500. But our target is to reach even 10,000 girls.
Yeah.
To just help them stay in school, because others they fail to health or hygienically maintain their menstrual hygiene, and so during that period they stay back home, stop attending school. And for 1 week without attending school, they would have lost a lot, they would have missed a lot. And so when they come in, one girl mentioned that when I come back, I find that it is the day they are writing a test, and they'll be writing some things that I didn't even learn. And so because of that, someone will start thinking that maybe I'm dull or what. And when they fail that test, I'm behind. They end up saying maybe it's better to just stay at home and get married. So this program is intended to make sure that the girls remain in school. They learn and not involve themselves in premarital sexual activities. They don't abort, because in the first place they don't even need to be in a relationship. Yes.
And then when they do the aborting process, I'm pretty sure there's no like high-end doctors that are assisting with this. That's why they die, or
one thing that I learned was that there is no such thing as safe abortion. That's one thing that I've learned. Having worked in an environment where it's a pro-life movement, where they are investigating all these issues. So it can be a hospital with highly qualified doctors, but the end result is unpredictable. We have seen girls dying even in a hospital attempting to do abortion. And so, yes, but also apart from medical facilities where they can go and do their abortion, I would mention here that actual abortion is illegal in Zambia. But those that maybe are life-threatening to the mother, yes, and the doctors certify that, yes, those are allowed. So the girls end up going to old women or just women who know herbs. And so they will be using herbs to do that, and they end up now dying.
So that's a lot. So it seems like you guys look at a need or find a need, and then create a program to help with that need, which is good, right? So you see things and then you try to tackle them. Now, in regards to the ladies, the girls, the women that are dealing with this issue here, what's the population in Zambia as like male versus female? Is there more females in that region that keeps like it's so prevalent there?
Oh yes, yeah. So the ratio of men to women is, I would say it's above 1 to 5.
Wow.
Yeah, it can even go up to about 10 if properly maybe surveyed. But women are more than the men.
I like this. I like where the vision is at. I like of seeing the need and stuff like that. Like there's so many things that we can probably discuss and talk about. But I noticed also that you guys connect with CSD, right? The consortium or something like that.
Yeah, CSD, the Consortium for Sustainable Development. So how we connected with that, first of all, in 2022 and 2023, just for those 2 years, an organization here in the US called Global Fund for Children. They liked the idea of paper forwarding for children, and so they sponsored us and as Creative Hand Zambia. But they also sponsored other 7 organizations, altogether 8 organizations. It was an initiative called a program to educate all kids.
All kids?
Yes, all kids. And so that is what they involved us with. And in 2022, what they did, they brought us together as directors of these organizations, and we were in one place, and we stayed there for about 3 days, trying to see ways we can collaborate with each other and work together. And so that's how we knew each other. So in 2023, that is last year in September, we thought, and I would say I was part of this thought, because just the two of us, there's one director who is a director for another organization called Referral in another city. And so we started talking and saying, how about if we came together and formed a consortium? Yeah. So that's how we said, I think it is a good idea. Since we already have a WhatsApp group where we were posting and greeting each other and seeing how we can work together,
Okay.
We floated that idea and said, how about we come together?
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that at the time that we were thinking about this, Global Fund for Children said, if you are able to collaborate with one or two organizations, you come together and work together in maybe a certain program, we can fund you at least from like 2,000 to 3,000 US dollars. Okay, so that's how we said, okay, so there's also this. But then we had floated that idea and said, instead of just thinking of two organizations working together, let us work together as organization, 8 of us. And that's how come the idea of the Consortium for Sustainable Development came in. And so we discussed that name, and finally we went on and registered it. So it's not just being part of that consortium, but we are actually the founders of that program also.
Wow.
Yeah, and the whole idea, of course, is just to strengthen our voice.
Yes.
And collaboration and networking, so that even as we raise resources, it won't be the CSD, the Consortium for Sustainable Development, implementing programs. It will be these organizations implementing the program. So we raise resources up there.
Working collaboratively to build stronger programs. I like that.
Yes.
So then you're just connecting also with other nonprofit organizations to just become a stronger hand.
Exactly. That's what we're doing. And what is also interesting is that in this organization, we have different strengths. Others are very good at administration, others at monitoring and evaluation, others at program management. And so we are learning from each other, and what is benefiting our individual organizations. And so we are really moving forward together, and of course making sure that even our operations are more efficient and more effective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, this is good. I really like what you guys are doing. And I hope that we can, connect also, right? And still, like, my channel's Be Creative, Be Great, right? So it's about just using our abilities to kind of like go a little bit further, right?
True.
So what you're doing over there, I think it's something that could even be implemented over here, right? Not only for young girls and boys and individuals out in Zambia, but I think your curriculums and programs that you're using, and I guess the vision could also work. Like it seems like a template that can work in any type of region, right? Because as long as you can pinpoint the issues and you have the resources to kind of like help them with that, I think it could be put into any area.
Now you've said it very well, because as it is right now, I mentioned about Global Fund for Children who've been funding us. They have been hoping that in all the regions that they do the sponsorship programs, organization can come together and create a consortium, so to say. Because they don't just sponsor Zambia, but they sponsor other countries in Africa, in East Africa, in West Africa, in South America, in Asia, and all these regions.
Wow.
And we were told that all these regions have tried to come up with a consortium, but they've been failing. And so as it is, since we have been successful and reached at this stage, they are saying they want to learn how we have been doing things and how we have become successful in coming up with a consortium, and want to use that also to help other regions. And you just said it. It can actually work worldwide and be implemented and help the young people.
Yeah, that's good, because I also saw really quick on your setup that you even had there was some type of like health, like a program or other organizations that deal with health and
Yes,
and
yes,
sanitation and all that stuff like that,
yes.
which is so good too. Believe it or not, like here, that's a big thing too. I'm pretty sure it's even worse on the other side, right?
Oh yeah, it
But
is.
yeah,
Yeah, it is. So when it comes to health and sanitation and also climate smart livelihoods, which is one of the areas that we're focusing as Creative Hands, you notice that climate has impacted us so much in a way that we can't even manage. Look, we are one of those countries that are said to be highly in debt and also poorest. Yeah. So
that's true.
when it comes to the effects of climate change and what is contributing to that, we are also very much affected. And so one of the programs that we're doing, it has much to do with advocacy and also showing them maybe the best way to live with the environment.
Got you.
Yeah, so we are doing
Wow.
that also, and it is helping. Like, for instance, many people, many rural families depend on cutting trees and produce charcoal, which they go and sell in the city.
Okay.
And the cutting down of trees itself has an effect to environment, and the charcoal that they produce also has an effect on the environment because of the carbon emissions, and at the end we see that it has also an effect on the health of the users of the charcoal itself. And so one thing that we are promoting, remember, I am an agriculturist myself by profession, and so I've learned the art of producing what is called biogas, which is a clean energy. It can't even be compared to what you call liquid petroleum gas, LPG. It is a clean energy. It doesn't have any pollutants in it. So for families that have got livestock, we are also helping them build what is called biodigesters to produce the biogas. Yeah, but that program, it's a
Wow.
story for another day.
You guys are in the future then. You guys are somewhat in the future, which is pretty cool.
But then I know that it happens in many other places of the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Oh, that's
China, they are doing that. Even here in America, I know some farmers that do that.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we are busy doing also there.
That's so good. Joseph, it was a pleasure to meet you, man. Like literally, and to talk, and hopefully we get to stay connected on other things that you're doing. Even when you head back over there, is there any type of platforms that people could find you on? Social media? Are you on Instagram and WhatsApp?
Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. When you go to Facebook, there is one button that directs you to our WhatsApp group.
Okay.
And so for those that would want to connect with us, they can, of course, reach out through that and just write even a message on Instagram or even on Facebook. For those that use LinkedIn, we are also there. And also we have a web page.
Yeah.
So
Your web page is what?
It's creativehandzambia.org.
Okay.
Yeah, www.creativehandzambia.org. For Instagram, it's just Creative Hands Zambia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for Facebook, it is the same thing.
The same thing. So everything's pretty much the same. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
So
they can reach out and thank you
Joseph,
so
it was a
much.
pleasure. Everybody who's watching this, thank you for tuning in to another Coffee Break episode. I'm going to be putting all his handles, Instagram, any way you can support and help and share the word will be greatly appreciated. I myself, I'm going to, try my best also to continue to stay connected with you and see what we can do. I've connected already with a few people from Africa that we're brewing something up, especially in the Ghana area and Botswana. Botswana. And
It's our neighbor.
oh, that's the neighbor right there.
Yes.
So
it's our neighbor.
we're there's a couple of things happening. I don't know what's gonna happen, but meeting you now, it looks like a lot of things are making sense.
Oh, yeah.
So but I'm definitely gonna put all his information in the channel, and like all episodes, never settle with being good when you've been meant to be great. See you later.